Hey guys, Big Todd coming to you again today with another pistol video, guys, another tabletop review. Today we're going to be talking about the Beretta 92. Yep, the iconic Beretta 92. Stay tuned. All right, guys, here we go. This is what we got today, and if you recognize that symbol, you know exactly what we're talking about today, right? Yep, and this one was made in Italy. Yep, like I talked before, the Beretta 92FS. And this is the Italian made. This is one made out of Italy. Real quick, let's just go ahead and show you that she's empty. Nothing in the magazine. And nothing in the chamber there. Nice and empty. This is what you get when you open the box. It's wrapped in like a wax paper type deal. You get an extra magazine, and you get this deal here. It's got the Beretta insignia on it. Not really sure what this is. Maybe it keeps this is not the strongest case. Maybe it keeps the gun from getting crushed and chipping or something, or I don't know. Maybe it holds 15 rounds of 9mm while you're loading. I don't know. You guys know, throw it in the comments. Let me know. Tell me what you think. Guys, before we go any further, I want to ask you to do me a favor. Please, you just saw the animation. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends. It sure does help the channel. I appreciate it. Also, before we go any further, I want to let you know towards the end of the video, I've got a surprise for you. We have this here FS made in Italy. And I also have the M9 American-made military version. And then we have a compact version that, from what I understand, they haven't made a whole lot of them. So it's maybe a little rare. I'm not sure. We're going to show you all three of those together in comparison. All right, guys. So a little bit about the Beretta company. It was founded in 1526 in Italy by the Beretta family. So that means that the Beretta family has been leading this company for 15 generations. God, that's amazing to me. That is a long time. Today, they're an international manufacturer of many, many commercial firearms and military weapons and products that are designed for, outdoor sports like hunting and tactical shooting and just competition shooting. So to add to the Beretta info here, Beretta has commercial and production activity in European countries as well as the U.S. And the reason why they have production companies in the U.S. is because they won the contract for the U.S. military as their sidearm. And part of that contract was that they had to be made here domestically. So Beretta is known for a broad range of firearms. They have side-by-side shotguns. They have over-under shotguns. They have semi-automatic shotguns. They got all kinds of rifles, like hunting rifles, assault rifles. They even have submachine guns, lever bolt action rifles, single and double action revolvers, and then you have your semi-automatic pistols that they produce, like this one here that we're talking about today, the 92FS. Okay, so enough about the company. Let's talk about the actual pistol. And before we go any further, I want to ask you guys, do me a favor. Let me know in the comments, do you like the Beretta 92? So I got to tell you, these aren't my guns. I borrowed these from a buddy of mine, and I always gave him grief because I was like, man, that is just I don't like that pistol. I don't like the looks of it. I don't like the open slide. I just give him all kind of grief. That part of it is just, buddies being buddies, and I got to give him grief about something. But I want you guys to tell me in the comments what you like or dislike about the Beretta 92. So like I said, the 92FS was the primary sidearm of the U.S. military and was designated as the M9. So the designation that they had to have for military use was M9. In 2017, though, Beretta lost that contract, and they lost it to the Sig Sauer P320. So this model here is chambered in 9mm. Most 92FSs are chambered in 9mm. The magazine has a 15 round capacity. I don't know if you guys can see that on there with the light. And like I said, when you open the box, you get 2 magazines with it. So the Beretta 92 is listed as a double single action. So that means that, and we'll check it one more time, make sure it's empty. That means that it's listed, you can just pull the trigger like that. That's double action. That's a long, hard trigger pull. But then once it's cocked, it's set into single action, right? So hit the wall, very short trigger pull, right? So that's why it's listed as a double single. The frame is made of an aluminum alloy. And I'm going to take it apart and show you how to field strip it in a minute. And we'll show you a little more on that. But it's an aluminum alloy, which makes, lightens the weight of the gun, because you have the slide here that is made 100% of steel. And I'm going to tell you what, even with this big cutout here, this slide is heavy. It puts some weight on the gun. And the big cutout here, this is called an open slide. That's what they refer to it as. Now, I used to mess with him quite a bit about this open slide. I was like, oh, that's crazy, man. You're going to get dirt and all kinds of junk down in there. And I never really thought about the advantages. So the advantages are, this is a huge opening for your shell to eject. So any malfunctions, like maybe a stovepipe or something like that, they're just not going to happen, because it's got all this space to just sling that casing right on out of there. Pretty good advantage. The other thing is, it does lighten the slide a little bit, because if it still had this full, if this was still full and covered, this would be a really, really heavy gun. But having the weight it still has, even with this cutout, this slide really helps the recoil. I'm telling you, I haven't shot these pistols, but I've shot a Beretta 92, and I got to tell you guys, they really are a dream to shoot. There's hardly any recoil. It keeps the muzzle flip down, which actually helps you if you're making several shots in a row. You can get back on target quickly. The other thing I found was, it lets the barrel cool quicker. It's not shrouded like almost all other pistols out there. It can actually dissipate the heat just a little bit quicker. So we'll talk just a minute about the safeties on the 92 here. So what we have is a slide mounted decocker / safety, right? So if the gun's cocked, you can use this lever right here and it will decock the gun, right? Did you see what it did to the trigger there? Oops. Right, the trigger's back. It's in single action. It's ready to fire. If there was a bullet in the chamber, all you got to do is pull that trigger and it'll fire. But you can decock that, right? And see how it moved the trigger forward? And now look, nothing happens because it's on safe now. So lift the safety up, double action. And another thing about the Beretta 92 is this is a hammer-fired pistol. It is not a striker-fired pistol like most other pistols out there on the market today. So let's talk about the magazine for a minute. The 92 has a steel magazine, and it actually took a page out of the Browning High Powers book, and it's a double stack magazine. That's how they're able to fit 15 rounds in this bad boy. And these magazines are considered, or what you consider a direct feed magazine. So what that means is that there's no feed ramp on the barrel or inside the gun between the magazine and the chamber. Apparently, this was a Beretta innovation in pistols. So I'll show you guys. I don't know if you can see it. Well, you can definitely see it when we take it apart. But no feed ramp. I mean, just a little slight opening there, but I wouldn't really call that a feed ramp like most traditional pistols. So the manufacturer of these magazines now is Mekgar, and they are out of Italy. It's an Italian company, and they produce these in blue and in nickel. They also have magazines that with an 18 round capacity and a 20 round capacity. So let's get into some of the gun dimensions. So we have a barrel length of 4.9 inches. We have a grip width right here of 1.5 inches. An overall height from top to bottom, 5.5 inches. And an overall width on your back strap here is 1.5 inches. And when I weighed it, it weighed in at 33.3 ounces, was just a little bit over 2 pounds. So the old Beretta 92 has a very distinctive look. I mean, when you see this thing from afar, you know it's the Beretta 92 or the military pistol. But I tell you what, it's been used a lot in Hollywood. Having been in films and carried by John McClane in Die Hard, And people like Martin Riggs in Lethal Weapon, it's made a name for itself. It's also been used, believe it or not, in the James Bond film. It was used before the Walther PPK became standard. And it's also been in shows like The Sopranos and I think the movie Taken. So yeah, it's got a pretty good role in Hollywood. The 92 has many variations to it. The original is the 92FS, and then you have the M9. And they've been making those forever, but I mean, they have tons of variations. You can get them with mounts on the bottom where you can put a light or a laser. You can get them in different color combinations. They've got camo, they've got green, desert tan, chrome, all kinds. And I'll tell you what, it's so popular. There's a lot of companies copying them out here. Let's see, Taurus makes the PT92, and it's an exact replica because they bought a Beretta factory and they bought the tooling with it. So they're making this exact gun. You also have the Thomas G1, and I think the French military uses that. You have the Helwin 920, and believe that's the Egyptian variation on this gun, which is, I don't know. I guess I want to say it's weird to me, but I guess it really isn't, because this gun is used all over the world. And then you have the Vector 288 and the Vector SP1, different variations by companies that make this gun. The 92 is actually used by, like I mentioned a minute ago, multiple countries for their military and their police. And, even though the military here in the States didn't renew the contract, there's still plenty of police departments in the U.S. here that still use this as their primary sidearm. Okay, so let's field strip this bad boy. All right, so we're going to decock it. No magazine in. We're going to turn it over here. We're going to lock the slide back first. We're going to turn it over here, and see that button right there? We're going to push that button, and that allows us to turn this lever here. Oops. We're going to turn that lever down. We're going to release that button, come up here, and release the slide. Okay, first of all, we have our aluminum alloy frame, and I've got to tell you, there's really not any tooling marks at all. I know this one hasn't been fired, so it's not dirty or anything. There's no rubbing points or anything like that, other than where the slide's been cycled, probably by me. But yeah, looks really good in there. There's not a, you can look at some of the cheaper made guns and you can just see, tooling marks and things like that. This looks pretty good. I think it looks dang good. All right, here's the inside of the slide. We have our barrel and our spring. And our spring is not a captured spring, right? It is a piece of plastic. And then to get our barrel out, we're just going to push that in, and oops, she pulls right out of there, just like that. And like I said earlier, there's no feed ramp. There is a little bit of a bevel there on the barrel just to help them get in, but no real feed ramp. I'll show you guys the inside here. A big old open slide design, huh? A bit of ejector there. That's a beefy ejector. All right, and put it back together. Going to slide that barrel back in. Now, I always have trouble with this because when I try to push it in, the guide rod seems to catch on the spring right at the last minute. So let's see, now that I'm on camera, if I can do it. Hey, look at that. First try. All right. So now you're just going to take this, oops, get it lined up. Oh, come on, line up. There we go. Get it lined up, lock it back. That lever goes up, and we're good to go. There we go, guys. All right, while we got it here, I want to show you the trigger function on the old 92. I like the trigger. I think it's really good. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of double action, but the single action is really good. So you've got to take up to a wall right about there, and just, there's no creepiness, there's no grinding, there's no grit. It's just a nice clean snap, and she fires. Now I'll show you the double action. It's a heavy, long pull, right? Just like that. And here's the reset. I really like it. Seems to fire well. Seems to function well. All right, guys, so let's go over the sights real quick. I'm not sure if you can see this, but it does have a 3-dot sight. Where am I at? There I am. It does have a 3-dot sight, and I'll show you a difference between the M9 and the compact in a minute when we look at them. The sights are nice. They're easy to see. They're easy to line up. I don't have a problem with them. Overall, this pistol is mainly just used for self-defense, home defense, some concealed carry, open carry, obviously, and military and law enforcement around the world. You know, this frame is considered a large frame, so I know a lot of people question carrying this concealed, but I gotta be honest with you. And I was even talking to my father-in-law before I made this video, and he says, "Oh, that's a big gun. You can't conceal carry that." But I gotta be honest with you, having it in my hand now, I can honestly say, I think that could be concealed carry. Now, obviously, you're going to have a good belt, because remember, this magazine is going to have 15 rounds of 9mm in it, and you're going to have one in the pipe. And add that to the 2 pounds that it already is. You're going to have you need to have a good gun carry belt and a good holster. But it can be concealed carry. Overall impressions of the Beretta 92. Now, you guys can't tell my buddy that I said this, but I got to tell you what. When I shot this gun, or not this gun, when I shot a Beretta 92FS before, it shot great. It was very accurate. And in fact, the gun's way more accurate than me. Any misses would have been my fault, not the gun's fault. It shoots well, especially in the single. I don't care for the double action. I don't care for double action pulls on anything just because it's a long, heavy pull. But in single action mode, it shoots really well. The trigger's really good. You know, I got to say, I really don't have any dislikes about it. You know, this would be the portion where I'd tell you what I don't like about it. And it fits my hand good. You know, there's no need for different back straps and things like this. For me, for guys with smaller hands, maybe it's an issue. But for me, it fits really good. It's comfortable in the hand. It's got a nice, good trigger. It's rounded. Your fingers aren't going to get caught in there. And, you know, you could get your hand in there with gloves or anything like that either. Yes, the Beretta 92s are still sold. And you can still get them in the Italian version, or you can get the American-made version. They start anywhere in the high 6s and go to the high 8s. Now, that's just for the FS model. If you want a different variation with the slide rail, different colors, things like that, the price will increase. So anyways, guys, this is the Beretta 92FS. This is the Italian model. And so now I want to bring out the M9 model and the compact model. Okay, so we have the Italian model there. Here is the M9 model. All right, so this is the military version. And guys, let me show you. I don't know if you can see, but these are the exact same. Same magazine, everything. Just the exact same. Now, one difference is the sights. So I don't know if you can see that. The Italian model has the 3-dot sights like I showed you earlier, but the M9 American model has that 2-dot sight with the U-notch in the back. And that's nice too. It's got that dot here and it's got that dot there. You just line those up and it's kind of it's a square notch, but it's kind of a U in the back. I don't know. I like it. It's easy to acquire a sight picture with that. So we have those two. And then we have the compact model, right? Just the same. Compact model comes with a 13-round magazine. And I'll show you that this one's clear as well. Yep, magazine out, nothing in it. That one's clear. And in fact, let me show you the M9's clear as well. You know how the internet trolls are. So nice and clear. And nice and clear. So here's the compact model. And it does have a rail on the bottom. And this is aluminum alloy twist. This is not plastic. So you can hang any side of laser or flashlight or generator or whatever you want off the front of that bad boy. But let me show you in comparison to the other two. So we have the M9, we have the Italian version, and then we have the compact. So you probably can't see from there, but let me just show you. It's just a little bit shorter. It's just a little bit shorter than the regular FS92. And then when you look at the barrel length, it's just a little bit shorter. So it's a little more compact, probably a little easier to carry, probably not much lighter, but a little bit lighter. But anyways, guys, that's the Italian. That's the M9 American. And then you have the American compact. Those are the three variations. And they all shoot just as good from what I understand. The only other difference between the Italian and the M9 American is the grip screws, I can tell. So the sights and the grip screws. The grip screws on the Italian have a flat blade, and the grip screws on the M9 American are Allen wrench. And also the grip screws on the American for the compact are Allen wrench. So guys, overall impression of the Beretta 92FS. And like I said before, don't tell my buddy, but I like it. I like the gun. I actually like the advantages of the open slide, but I am curious to know, anybody that maybe have carried this gun before, or you know, in duty or anything like that, I'm curious to know, in the desert or jungle environment or woods environment, is there a bunch of debris that gets caught down in here next to the slide? Does that cause a malfunction or anything like that? I mean, there is a gap, so things can get down in there, dirt can get down in there. Let me know in the comments, guys. I'm really interested to learn about that. Was there problems with the M9 or the 92FS that caused the problem with you know, debris getting down in there, sand getting down there and causing a malfunction or anything like that? So anyways, guys, I got to tell you, I really appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, make comments. I need some comments because I really like to interact with people. I think it's awesome. I think it gives the channel depth. And then also share with your friends. If you like this video, please do all that. And guys, have a great day.